2 o'clock afternoon session of Berkley County Commission. We have a public hearing session set here for 2 o'clock today. Ordinance. We do have a sign-up sheet here. Previously, if your name's on there, we'll give you 3 minutes to talk. If there's someone on there that you want to take and use 3 minutes of your time, give them 6 minutes, we will allow for that. But you need to do it before we get started. The purpose of today's hearing is to receive public comment on the recently approved amendments proposed to the Berkley County Zoning Ordinance, that proposed ordinance in general, and of the proposed transfer of development rights ordinance. In the interest of time, we will appreciate you not reintroducing matters which have been previously considered by this commission. And then hearing that, we'll go ahead and get started. Deborah, if you can get us the list, I'll call your names out and we'll give everybody 3 minutes. Commissioner Somerfield, you want to watch the clock? And if I tap on the gavel, that means your time is up, okay? Okay, first on the list is Mr. Nathan Cochran. Can we get your name for the record when you come up, please?
Yes, I'm Nathan Cochran, Law Office of Richard Gay. We're here on behalf of Arcadia Development Company, the developer of the Orchard Glen subdivision. Mr. Tufel, Commissioners, thank you for allowing us to speak to you today. We're here with a request regarding the Orchard Glen. The Orchard Glen is currently designated as an R2 on the proposed map. We believe this is an error. We believe that it was the intention of the staff below to designate it as R3. There was another development called Boyd's Crossing that is also Arcadia's development. And we had requested that both that development and the Orchard Glen be changed to R3. Boyd's Crossing was changed to R3, but for some reason on the map, Yorkshire Glen did not get changed, and we believe this is an error. We wanted to bring that to the Commission's attention. Second, and I have some letters here. That contain additional comments. However, the essence of my comment, even if you did not accept the change based on the error, we believe that we should still be designated as R3 because we have final plat approval. This is a 3-phase development. And in the first phase, we have final plat approval. And the entire development has been designed with the concept that we would come in under the existing regulation. So we've expended quite a lot of money, as it says in the letter, well over $1 million in developing the development to this stage with infrastructure, engineering costs, considerable amount of permitted earth moving and that sort of thing. And unless the Commission lets this be designated as R3 on the map, it will create a substantial burden on the developer. There's also issues of vested rights and that sort of thing that I won't go into now that's contained in the letter. But we believe that in fairness, since there is 3 phases of this development, the first phase is already platted, approved, recorded, and the other 2 phases have sketch plats in the office based on the design as it exists, that you should at a minimum let the development exist under R3 on the map instead of R2.
Okay.
And there are other comments in the letter, and I will make it my time to Carla Coffey, who is...
Thank you, Mr. Coffey. She's going in next. Okay, Ms. Carla Coffey.
Commissioners, good afternoon. For the record, Carla Coffey with Arcadia Development Company. Nathan has submitted my comments in writing as part of his package, so if you're looking for them, that's where you will find them. Just real quickly, wanted to go through a few items. First one, Article 4, Section 402, Table 4.1, which is page 4.9. The lot area and lot width requirements. The lot area requirement for a single-family attached townhome, as currently drafted, requires 2,800 square foot minimum lot size. My experience has been that most people who desire a townhouse do not want a lot size of 2,800 square feet. They want something smaller, easier to maintain, and would suggest that it might be more appropriate to change for the R2 district the open space requirements or potentially the property line setbacks to achieve less density but smaller lot sizes. The same section, lot frontage requirements do not include provisions for cul-de-sacs or curved streets. I'd ask that you take a look at that and see if a change can be made. I do have included a recommendation. I'm going to offer the same comment for the R3 district with regards to the lot width requirement. Article 5, Section 5143, which is page 525, identification of sensitive areas. This section is currently requiring a Phase 1 environmental study. I ask that you remove that and instead identify specifically the items that you wish to have information on. Phase 1 environmental studies, to my knowledge, are not required by any other jurisdiction, certainly not that I work in. They're generally used for due diligence for the prospective buyer and the lender. They're not written for county review, to be honest with you. And I think it would be more wise to simply add what specific items you want to see. Article 5, Section 515, page 526, stream buffers. I'm asking for some clarification on that section. I will not bore you with the details here. Article 5, Section 516.8, page 530, steep slopes. Asking for a clarification on what constitutes land subject to flooding. Article 5, Section 517, page 530, wetlands. This is an area that I strongly feel needs some additional work. Wetland delineations, well, wetlands in general are regulated by the Corps of Engineers. Wetland delineations are done by jurisdictional determinations. The Corps is the only one that can identify specifically what are designated as wetlands. I've suggested changes in writing. Now, so you take a look at that. Thank you.
Mr. Matthew Dunnigan. Okay. Make sure we got the spelling correct on that.
Okay. It's Matthew Dunnigan. It's Donegan.
Okay.
I represent Bowman Development Corporation. We're headquartered in Williamsport, Maryland, but we do have some property and some concerns with the issue at hand. And I am going to be distributing a letter to each one of you. In January of 2006, Bowman Development Corporation purchased approximately 0.213 acres of land located at the intersections of Broad and Clarissa Lane and Interstate 81 after nearly a decade of negotiating with the seller. This particular piece of land is interested us because of its unique characteristics, its location and proximity to Interstate 81, and its in-cotton designation, which would allow for outdoor advertising. After the purchase of the land, Bowman has diligently worked with the Division of Highways, the Berkley County Planning Commission, and the contractors from the local area to develop the site. At present, the site has been graded, developed with water service, electric service, and a 250-foot handicapped accessible office trailer with asphalt parking. In total, over $400,000 has been expended toward the development of this site. As we understand the draft zoning ordinance, this particular property would be zoned as village, and such a classification would prohibit outdoor advertising. Obviously, this is a great concern to us due to the significant investment that we've already made in the property. So at this time, we are requesting that the commission allow the property to be zoned I and/or exempt the property from the rezoning to the village designation. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Ray Berkley.
Again, for the record, my name is Ray Berkley. I'm president of the Orchards on the Potomac Managed Association. It'll probably be a little non-traditional because I want to give some kudos out. Essentially, my remarks reference map 3, parcels 33 and 3, and it's land is farm. And we're very appreciative for the type of, I guess, the drafting document, and we believe that it was kind of fair and some reasonable zoning that took place on that. And we also look at the document noting that no document is going to satisfy all needs and all persons. But I believe that some of the prudent compromises appear to be followed on this, and is hopeful that the document could be finalized, I think, in this particular form. And I guess just to illuminate some of my ignorance on this, I just have 3 quick questions. Well, the document that's there now, or would that again be, is that the final document, or would it be subject again to some changes? Or is that difficult to answer?
Well, this is not a question and answering service.
Okay.
The time frame, we're here just to hear your input, and we'll get those questions, we'll review them, and then we'll get it back to you.
Okay. I
If you
certainly.
have questions you want to submit, you can read them, and then we'll submit them to planning, and then we'll get the answers back to you.
Very good. Okay. Again, I just want to extend my appreciation to the Planning Commission for some of the very notable efforts and the results. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rick. You've got the questions and documents you want to.
That looks to be finalized.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Betsy Michael.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Betsy Michael with Terra Development Services, and I won't take much of your time up this afternoon, but I'm here to speak on behalf of M&S Properties, Communities at Burwell. It is a plan that is in the process now of being engineered. We actually have already submitted to STAC, and we are going through engineering planning comments at this point. The south portion is already has approval and will start being advertised for public hearing, but probably will not happen due to the north addressing some comments on the planning side by the time the vote goes through. In the map on the current comprehensive plan at this time, it is designated for R1, and we are proposing a mixed community with many types of residential, single-family, townhomes, commercial apartments. There's a whole host of mix of things. So I just wanted to bring this property to your attention. We are in that process and already almost through, but will not be probably advertised and be heard at public hearing before the vote would go in May. So I just want to bring this property to your attention. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Miss Wendy Hudock.
Want me to start?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, I know what you're probably all thinking. Oh no, not her again. And believe me, there are places I would rather be. Even the dentist chair is looking pretty good because I don't enjoy public speaking. But zoning is such an important issue to so many people. So today I speak on behalf of the many that cannot be here because of work and family constraints at this time of the day. The people want to know what we can do to remedy the intrusion of an industrial shale mining operation into a residential community. It has become apparent that we have no rights with or without zoning. Only industry has rights. The rights to ruin our neighborhood, destroy our mountain, contaminate our water supply, pollute our air quality, and create a nuisance to our peace and quiet rural living. We want to know why zoning should be supported since it does not protect and preserve the rights of the people. The zoning ordinance as now proposed allows industrial manufacturing, mining to locate wherever, whenever, and whatever they wish. The ordinance goes so far as to provide them with a satellite loophole clause should an established obstacle, such as a residential community, stand in their way. We question the omission of protective ordinances of historic areas and natural resources as recommended by the comprehensive plan procured by the county. We note with interest the recent article in the Journal in which Mr. Stubblefield stated, and I quote, "We're really not a smokestack industry here. Here in the Shenandoah Valley, it's even more important because we're stuck between two mountain ranges," end quote, noting that this can make the air become stagnant. We know in your heart of hearts that you know that industrial mixed with residential is unfair. You wouldn't want to live near it or next to an industrial mining operation either. Section 8A must be changed to protect the people you pledged to serve. Berkeley County taxpayers should not have to suffer because big business lobbyists are working against our rights. We want to work with you. Someday you will want our help. We need your help now. In conclusion, the people want to know what you've done in this matter. Has the DEP been contacted? Have our legislators, including the governor, been contacted, as you agreed to last week? We just request an update. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Steve Hudock.
My name's Steve Hudock, and last time I was here, I was pretty upset. This is an article from Senator John Blair Hunter saying that the things that are exempt are mining, and basically they can take down that mountain and North Mountain, and zoning won't be able to do a thing about it. Now, when a senator is writing about what can happen in our own community, and it's saying in this article that the reason why they're doing this is so they can take your water rights, we have a problem. And since last week, I've had 3 people from the other side of Charleston contact me. And I had one from the health department came out and took asbestos shingles and asbestos pipe off that property. He said he was going to take it back and be tested. And one thing he said, he can't understand why DEP did not come get samples when they were there. And I think we have to protect our area, and we want to work with you. I mean, we really want to work with you. But you think gas is high. I don't know anybody in this room that when a gallon of water gets over $5 a gallon, just to drink it, then you're really going to be, my cows drink about from 20 to 29 gallons a day. That's a cow with, lactating with a cat. I tell you, we got a problem when an article from the senator says that mining has the right to take down our mountains, but the reason why they're doing it is so that they can get to our water and use it against us. And it says foreign companies with industrial practices in West Virginia, and that you need to contact this senator. I really think this is the calm before the storm. I think we have an opportunity to stop it. We have an opportunity. You read articles every day that the people in West Virginia are being stomped and walked on, or a bunch of hillbillies. Every piece of paper I pick up. We're not. We're very educated, and I think you're going to see that the people of this county are not going to stand by and let it happen anymore. You have to understand it. I don't know what we can do to explain it. Fuel's one thing. Water, it's already happening in West Virginia. Water isn't going to be yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hudock. Mr. Garland Sensendiver. Mr. Garland Sensendiver.
Yes, I'm Carl, Sensitiver, President, Commissioner. I'm here to request a change of your classification of the proposed zoning ordinance from high residential R3 to commercial district C. On March 8th, I brought into y'all's office, also the Planning Commission, a request, also a map of the request thing. Your map does not show, or the tax map also does not show the property as it is. Property is located at John Run Road, Welltown Pike, and Southtown Texas Ramp 14 off 81. And the whole parcel was 5.5615 acres. This is also the only exit in Berkley County that's not zoned commercial. Your maps don't show any exit, the exit 14 being there at all. Somewhere y'all should have the map that I brought in, the Planning Commission also. The only thing I'm asking is that it be reclassified from R3 to Commercial District C. Also, on another subject here, in the Martinsburg Journal, on March the 8th, 2008, gives a list of whole things here. At the end of it, it says, to be published, signed by the president, or not signed, but his name is, to be published 14 times in the journal, starting on Saturday, March the 8th, 2008, and ending on March the 21st, 2008, one time. How can this meeting here be legal if it wasn't supposed to be? Thank you.
Okay, next is Mr. Bob Hebner.
Name's Robert Hebner. Couple issues. First one, of the most important, is as you see on the front of my shirt, is mobile homes are not listed in this document as a permitted use. Dwellings, single family, duplex, attached, detached, you name it, it's there. It has no mention in the definition of dwellings does it include mobile homes. I spoke to the gentlemen over here. They're very convinced it's not a problem because under the definition of mobile home, they mention dwelling. But since the permitted use to be listed would need to be dwellings, mobile homes should be included in the dwelling meanings, definitions of. You follow my direction here? We're talking two sides of the fence. We got the mobile home over here saying, I'm a dwelling. We're permitting dwellings, and dwellings over here saying, never heard of it. To me, it's a major issue. Zoning is segregation, discrimination, and this appears to be segregation, elimination. And to use that, the county recognizes, as you see on your front page, as a permit application, the county presently separates the two. Residential house, it takes one application. If it's a mobile home, it will take a different application. So we already start separating them. We need to have them tied together if we're going to have them recognized as a dwelling. It has to be more specific. Right now, it is not. This is a flawed, terrible, nasty mistake that can't be left undone. It has to be cleared. We could spend hours, days, and even years in court debating this issue because it's so vague depending on which side of the street you're on. This gentleman is totally convinced it's not a problem. And me and a lot of people I talk to are totally convinced it's a major problem. It cannot go unaddressed. While we're mentioned a couple of things, it's not. While we're talking about stuff not mentioned, jails and prisons are not in there. I noticed. I couldn't find them. I'm sorry, I couldn't find them in there.
Ms. Trudy Slater.
Good afternoon. My name is Trudy Slater, and I'm here on behalf of my community of Jarrettstown. I'm sort of disappointed that we couldn't have had this meeting in the evening. This certainly has limited people coming to this zoning meeting, to the retired folks like myself and those people who are freewheeling and are able to get away from their jobs. I wish to read a letter to you folks, and I'm sure Mr. Collins is aware of this letter. It was written by the Berkley County Historic Landmarks Commission to Clarence Wright. The Berkley County Historical Landmarks Commission received a copy of Susan Pierce's letter to you last week. We support her suggestion and feel it is very important to conduct an archaeological site survey on the total area covered by the permit issued to North Mountain Shale LLC. Prospect Hill is a historical property and is listed on the National Register, and Mount Pleasant, the Mount Olive Church stone building are scheduled to be presented to the Archives and History Commission for approval and submission to the National Register in May. The Jarrettstown Historic District is near the proposed area to be mined for shale for manufacturing bricks. The beautiful Oban Hall stone mansion is listed, but the only detail and information we have been able to get from North Mountain Shale is what is listed in Susan's letter. Recent photographs showing Oban Hall were given to the Berkley County Historical Society for our archives, but the North Mountain Shale refused to let me publish them in an article I wrote about Oban Hall and Jarrettstown area. And this goes to show you the intent of these people that are with North Mountain Shale. They really do not have the interest of Jarrettstown nor the historic nature of our town at interest. And just recently, I was reading the National Geographic's October issue of this year, and they are saying that we have to take note of historic preservation in this country because there will be nothing left for future generations to look back on or to visit if we don't take care to preserve these areas today. I thank you very much. And I'm sorry, I could give a copy to you folks. Due to illness in the family, I have not been able to get to the Xerox machine. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chad Wallen.
Good afternoon. I'm Chad Wallen with William H. Gordon Associates. I'm here this evening on behalf of 4 separate property owners to request an amendment to the draft zoning map. I have my comments in writing, exhibits for submission. So as there's 4 properties, I'll be moving rather quick. The first is Potomac Rock Estates. This property consists of approximately 90 acres and is located adjacent to the intersection of Whiting's Neck Road and Steeplechase Lane. The current draft zoning map designates this property for rural residential, and we are requesting that the draft zoning map designation be amended to provide for a low-density residential district. The property currently maintains an approved sketch plat for 35 single-family detached lots. Engineering for phase 1 of this property is complete and is currently awaiting approval from DOH and Health Department. Once these permits are received, the preliminary plat for phase 1 will be submitted for review by Berkley County. We anticipate the preliminary plat will be approved prior to the potential adoption of the zoning and will, like the zoning map, represent its future development. The Arrowwood property is located on approximately 3 acres at the intersection of Weaver Lane and Route 11. The property is currently designated as medium-density residential, and it is being requested that the draft zoning designation be amended to neighborhood commercial. The property is currently vacant and was previously used for the Lakes at Martinsburg sales street. It is planned that the Route 11 and Weaver Lane intersection will be improved as Lakes at Martinsburg is developed. It is felt that the neighborhood commercial district would be appropriate to serve the developments occurring in the vicinity of this property. We would also like to note, repeating myself, Ridgeview Estates. This property is located on approximately 125 acres off of Dominion Road near Jaredstown. The property is currently designated for rural residential and is being requested that the zoning designation be amended to low-density residential. We feel this zoning designation is compatible with the surrounding area, as both the properties to the northeast and across Dominion Road are also currently zoned for low-density residential. The property currently maintains an approved sketch plat for 98 single-family detached units. We are currently in the process of finalizing the preliminary plat with submissions to the DOH and Health Department currently under review. Beard Farm Estates. This property is located on 179 acres adjacent to Thatcher Road. The property is currently designated for rural residential, and we are requesting the designation for low-density residential. A preliminary plat consisting of 134 single-family detached homes is currently under review by Berkley County. The developer has expanded the lot areas within this development to comply with the draft regulations provided for the R1 zoning designation. It's time. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Bill Escherwood.
A lot of my concern, my name's Bill Isherwood, and I'm a concerned citizen. I've been supportive of the zoning amendment, although this clay company has caused me to give some more extensive thought than I'd had before. I just don't understand how a company can just automatically come into a community, lock, stock, and barrel, and the citizens not have any what appears to me any recourse. I certainly don't think that if they haven't researched in advance before they spent their $2 million, they knew full well what they could do, and it concerns me. I feel like Berkley County's dealing with a runaway locomotive coming halfway down the mountain, and how you stop it, there's going to be a big crash. I still support zoning. I think for the overall good of the county, it's the best way to go. I think there's a reason why Berkley County in the last number of years has had 700 and some odd new students in the schools, where Jefferson County's had 300. Frederick County, Virginia's had in the neighborhood of 300. And what's the variable? Well, they have zoning, and it's not a fix it. But I do think that if the laws are such that people like yourselves aren't able to do anything, then it's very important for you to lobby to see that the laws are changed, and that there should be some way to support the citizenry rather than just saying there's nothing we can do and throw up our arms. And I hope maybe you're doing some things behind the scenes that many of us are not aware of. But I thank you for your time, and please consider those of us in Gerardstown who have grave concerns about, in my case, the national fruit product development as well as continental clay. And what's that going to do to those people who are going to build homes there and have to deal with the clay dust and all of that that's going to happen, and see that mountain disappear. Thank
you. Mr. Fred Blackmer.
Commissioners, it's always a pleasure to be here. Mine is brief today. I just felt responsibility to reiterate what I believe is an understanding regarding transfer of development rights and its connection with the zoning ordinance. And that would be if for some reason the transfer of development rights fails to pass or is rescinded, that the densities that were originally designed for the zoning ordinance be put in place. They were originally designed and agreed to by you at a density level. They were adjusted for the inclusion of TDRs. Should TDRs not be in place, all I ask is that you refer to the original densities that were allowed in the original zoning ordinance. Thank you.
Ms. Katie Fiddler.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I'm going to try and be brief here. Just a couple things. My name is Katie Fiddler. I'm with New Broad Development Company and also the Government Affairs co-chair with the Eastern Panhandle Home Builders Association. Again today, as we did in the last public hearing, we're hearing from a number of property owners and representatives of property owners that have concerns about projects that are in the pipeline that could be impacted by the zoning ordinance. And if it's in there, I haven't seen it. There's still no language for grandfathering projects that have been started and possibly even have preliminary plat that could get lost in the shuffle here. I know you all have been working with a number of property owners to try and make sure nobody gets caught, but I think that there's still a possibility that there are people out there that aren't aware that they might be in that situation. In particular to communities that may have preliminary plat on part of their proposed subdivision, but not on the whole thing. So I think that's something you need to consider. And in light of that, I think also Section 901, which talks about how you go about changing the ordinance or changing or making map amendments, I still believe that that's a burdensome process with 3 public hearings. You might break out the difference between a language or a intent amendment to a map amendment when you're looking at that process. The other thing I wanted to talk about was Section 603, conditional uses. There's still a lot of subjective language in there. I think since you have taken out the traditional neighborhood design section, that leaves us one area, conditional uses and in particular PUDs, as the one place for creativity and innovation if developers want to do some new design type properties that, again, it's a very burdensome set of hoops to jump through in order to do something that might be good for the community. I want to also kind of second some of the things Carla said about the very particular issues, in particular Section 517, the wetlands, which is regulated by the Army Corps of Engineers. You risk being in conflict with some of their regulations in what you're doing in this ordinance. And last but not least, I understand there are some staffing issues in the planning department, and I hope that you all, in doing your budget, take that into consideration, that if this ordinance does pass, we have adequate people to do both the planning and the zoning in the future. Thank you.
Mr. Pat Whitaker.
I'd like to donate my time to Mr. Henry so he can finish.
Okay, fine.
Dream come true. I come back.
Bob Hebner, in place of Pat Whitaker's tenant. I would like to just sidestep just a little bit from the mobile homes to the mobile home park. Comes under conditional use. It's allowed in 2 pretty good sized districts, but it comes under conditional use. And I was at a meeting on the 10th and heard a presentation, and conditional use was mentioned several times. How it might be the tool to prevent. Sounded real good until you moved your thought to the other items that's listed under conditional use. It could be a tool to prevent everything else under conditional use. So if it's a possibility of being able to eliminate or prohibit a use because it's listed under conditional use, everything listed under conditional use, including affordable mobile home park housing, could be jeopardized. I find that a totally unacceptable kind of language if it can be used for that kind of a tool. I'm not even going to use the rest of my 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hebner. Okay, at this time I will ask, is there anyone else who would like to come before the commission and speak? Not hearing none, I'll ask for motion. Okay, it's 13 minutes before the hour of 3 o'clock. There's a motion on the floor. It's second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 The motion to close the public hearing passes. Okay, at this time, we're going to take a short break, and then we will reconvene in a couple minutes past 3 o'clock. Okay? There are a couple people I'd like to talk to Rudolph, if that's possible.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
I just don't know what I'm doing. Keep on recording.
Yeah.
I am the only one. Period. Alright, look, let me go ahead and get back here for you, alright? Yeah.
It's terribly exciting, isn't it?
Asking my friend Sean if he has an extra paintball, and then I can get off.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember to ask Mikey where my paintball guns are. Because if he's not using them, and, you know, if he needs one, I can set up. Yeah. I haven't used it for ages. Yeah. Several years ago when they became the fad, you know, got some then, but, you know, they play with them and shit. Mikey was a little boy. Yeah. It's a cool toy, man. It's gotta come back. Yeah. It's made people invest a lot of money in it too. You know? So who wants to throw away good toys?
Oh, exactly. Just like iPods. Expensive toys.
Yeah. I know anything's expensive these days.
That was very, very good point.
Huh?
That was very good point. That article.
Yeah.
And also about the other mobile ones.
Yeah.
Everyone else obviously felt safe going, you know, like and moving it around so people could come up and stuff so they can see who's coming up.
Just we up there and watch the film.
Yeah. I'll let you introduce.
How you doing?
Great, how you doing today?
Good. I'm Alan McGilward from WRNR Radio.
Hi, Bob Thornley.
Yeah. How are you? Those of us in the media just have this burning desire to know who you guys are.
Oh. Okay. Bob Thornley.
Okay.
No, we're working with some of the people here that are opposing the Berkley.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're just trying to get some footage of it.
Yeah.
Now, we have a recording
Hey,
studio.
how you doing? Yeah. No.
We normally record music.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
I'm in awe of your equipment. It's beautiful.
Oh. Well, this is the cheap stuff.
Yeah, well, it's
yeah.
better
we
than
got full production.
Better than what I used to work with. So, yeah.
We're all set up for high def.
Yeah. And the funny thing about work, I worked in TV before I came back to Martinsburg, and I had equipment that was similar to this, and it was more technologically advanced than the big cameras that the TV stations use. But most people think bigger is better. And so when the stations would show up with the big equipment, they would give them more respect than me, who had the little tiny camera.
Right.
And that always used to just drive me nuts.
Yep.
You know?
It's like we have to have the cameras that we use for TV.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have them, nobody will look at your stuff.
Oh yeah, exactly.
But they're a pain in the ass. You have to bring trailer, all the cables
Right.
and everything, or they're just dumping in Blu-ray.
Yeah, you see the people from NBC 25. You got these 95-pound women with 150 pounds of equipment. You know?
Yeah, one of our camera ladies, she's 80 pounds probably.
Yeah.
But she's good.
And they're going down the hillsides in high heels, and everything else. And it's funny as hell.
Amazing.
Yeah. So your studio's here in Martinsburg?
Well, no, we're out in Jones Spring, out Back Creek.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good.
Yep, and we have one down Falls Church too.
Oh, yeah, in Virginia. Gotcha. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. No, we got a TV show on MHZ out of Falls Church.
I hear about it all the time, but I live in Winchester. We can't get it.
Okay.
Because DCR TV, the website that talks about Washington, D.C. radio and TV. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No, never.
But it's DCRTV.com.
Okay.
And this guy by the name of Dave Hughes, he edits it. And they talk about you guys all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, MHZ or whatever it was.
Yeah, we're not with MHZ.
Okay.
It's just they're carrying our TV show.
Yeah, but that's
our website, frontlaymusic.tv.
Front Road?
Front Row, ROW.
Front Row, got it. Okay, all
TV.
right.
Yeah, take a look.
I'll look it up when I get a chance. Yeah, good enough.
We got a lot of cool things happening.
Yeah.
Just everything's slow.
Yeah. I started in TV when you had the camera and the
battery pack,
and the battery pack, and the thing with the tape in it.
Okay.
You know, and like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And I was
pack horse.
Yeah, and I was on an aircraft carrier. You had to go up 17 flights of stairs to shoot something.
Oh my god.
Because when we were, especially when we were in the Caribbean, and the Soviets would be flying bombers out of Cuba. Okay. And every time one went flying overhead, they'd want me to go up and videotape it, and then I'd have to send it off to Defense Intelligence Agency so they can analyze it. Okay. So I'm chugging up the thing, please fly slowly so I can still get you. But usually what they would do is they would make a couple of passes taking pictures of us while we were taking pictures of them. So it all worked out. And the Soviets, what they would do is they would have boats.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Give me a call next time.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So the Soviets had ships that looked like fishing trawlers. And what they would do is they would anchor off the coast of Norfolk. And then whenever the fleet left Norfolk, then they would follow us. So I had a captain one time. This is when I was on the Mount Whitney, which was an amphibious command ship. We had 2 admirals and a Marine Corps general on board. We were a floating command center.
Yeah, we do.
So one time what the admiral did was he went down to deck department and he got the guys to collect all the Playboy magazines and Penthouse magazines they could find. Then he went down to the mess deck, got up a whole tray of brownies and chocolate chip cookies, and he sent the bosun's mate out, sent him back to the trawler, and they took the bag and threw it up on the deck of the Russian fishing trawler, and then turned around and came back to the ship. And the next thing we know, the fishing trawler turned around and went back the other way.
You made him happy.
Yeah, it was it. So
you got their piece of America.
Yeah. Anyway, good luck. Nice meeting you. Have a good one.
All right, take care. I don't see us doing any good right now, do you?
No, not really.
Pack it up.
Pack it up?
Yeah, let's just wait and make sure. Because I'm not sure if there's any more issues here.
All right. We can pack it up and have to get it back out. Yeah. Everything's pretty straight. From over there, it looked like it was all cockeyed, but it was just my eye, I guess. Okay, so we go ahead.
We'll see you in a minute.
All right.
I could probably do that. Thank you.
We got a bunch of stuff. Well, we are, yeah. I'll start off. We're going to show them PBS. Jamie died before he went. They got killed too. He's not to see I'm just doing good. All right, take care.